Welcome to Still Works and Brewing. My name is Randy and this is a channel that's all about home distillation and brewing. Okay, so what do we got going on today? Today we're going to start part 2 of our timestamp American Single Malt Whiskey. Today is distilling day. It's the funnest part. Okay, so if you remember the video before, we got about 2.5 hours into making our mash. And then it fermented is 2 weeks. Alright, it is done, I do believe, but we'll check that. Okay, so let's get started. Time is just about 7 o'clock, okay? Alright, but first things first. There is 5 things that you can really do to help us out. Number 1, hit that subscribe button if you haven't done it already. If you have, hey, thanks. Number 2, hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything. Number 3, share us with your friends. If you like what you see, please give us that thumbs up. And number 5, leave a comment and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Alright, now we're ready to get started. Let's see. While I'm getting set up, here's a little bit of a B-roll of what we did in the last video. So I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, so the very first thing we got to do is double check, make sure it's done. And it is 1.000 right there at the blue. Okay, so we know for a fact that it's done. Alright, so we're going to siphon this nice and sour. We're going to siphon this into our still pot. Alright, so I'll get this siphoned over. Okay, so we got our mash over into our still pot, and what I want to do is I want to degas the mash. So this is a it goes on your drill for degassing wine and stuff. Works great. So basically, all we're going to do is kind of stir it up, get the gases out of the liquid, all the CO2 gases. It don't take long, it's just a couple minutes. You can see it's all foaming up. Okay, so let me get this done and then we'll stack this still out. Put our cone on first. I don't know if you can hear, got cicadas in the background. So the next thing I want to do is I got 2 rolls of copper I want to put in my column. one. They're about 18 inches long, 2-inch column. So I got 2 rolls in there. Alright, now an easy way to test to make sure that you're not packed too tight. If you can breathe through there nice and easy, it's good. That piece on here. Hand tight. The next piece which go on, I like to use a sight glass. It just helps me see what's going on. So that's the next piece. So my next piece is my would help if I had a gasket though. Would help if I had a gasket. There we go. This is always the fun part. Okay, and then the only other piece I got left to put on would be my thermometer head, but I'm going to leave that off just for a little bit. Let her start warming up a little bit more. I'll set that right there with a gasket and a plate. Okay, so our next step is let's get this heating up. I'll hook up my coolant lines. Okay, in this case, I have the the pre-condensing here on, but I will not run any water to it. I'm just using it for still height, column height. So I will not have any water to it. The only water I have is going to my Liebig. So I call it a shotgun condenser, but the actual name is a Liebig condenser right here. Okay, so let's start warming this up, and then we'll get moving on. Okay, we got still starting to warm up. If you feel the column, you can feel the heat coming up the column. Alright, my temperature gauge is starting to rise very, very slowly. But like I've said in the past, this is not the time to go get a cup of coffee or anything like that, because once she starts taking off, that head temperature is going to go right up to probably 170 something, 175. Lickety split. You better be there ready to turn some heat down. I mean, I'm not running full blast heat, but you can see it's starting to fog up in this sight glass pretty good. So she'll start, like I said, she'll start rising up. Well, then we'll turn the heat down, and we'll get this column to balance the heat out. So it'll be a few more minutes. Okay, my head temperature is right about 180 degrees. I am producing. On my controller. Right now I am putting in 4.3 amps into my heating element. Okay, so we're going to collect off our first 4 ounces, and I'm going to consider that my heads and my 4 shots. Okay. Okay, our parrot's full. It is 8:26, so it's about an hour since, or hour and a half, right? About an hour and a half since we got started. We're starting to fill our first jar. We are coming off at, right this second, about 150 proof. So we'll be here for a while. So what I'm going to do is probably collect a half a pint here, and then I'll switch to another jar, collect another half pint, then I'll probably go to full pints. So we'll be here for a little while. Okay, just to let you know what's going on. Sometimes things don't always go like you expected it. We run off about a pint, and I was starting to get a funny looking tinge to my distillate. I mean, it should be crystal clear at this point. So what I did was I moved my parrot and just put a jar under the condenser, and it was coming out of the still crystal clear. It was picking up some kind of color off my parrot. So I imagine I would have to, I'll make me up some 551 and clean the inside of that out. There's something in it that is giving me a tinge. I couldn't taste anything, but it just, I didn't like the color of it. So what I ended up doing is I shut the still down, let it stop producing. I actually took my thermometer off, and I put all that distillate back down into the still and started put the thermometer back on, started warming the still back up, which it only took a couple of minutes to start warming up to produce. And if you notice, that is crystal clear the way it's supposed to be. The taste is there, it's very tasty. So, like I said, sometimes you run into unexpected things and you just have to roll with it. So, what is our time now? Is 9:52, okay? And I got, I'm one pint in the restill. So, I'll come back in a little while. Okay, to give an update where we're at, we got basically 2 quarts came off. We're at 62% still coming off the still. Got a little ways to go. Taste wise, very tasty. I'm pleased with that. Head temperature still at, I'm going to say 180, right, just climbing up on the 190. I'm going to run to about 202, 204, somewhere in that neighborhood. So we got a little ways to go. I'm going to say we're going to collect about 1 more quart after this, after we finish this jar up. Okay, and let's give a time check. 11:16. That's even after our little snafu. Okay, so we'll be back. Okay, I just shut the heating element off. We are at 40 proof, 200 degrees on the head temperature. So I'm pretty sure we're done. That's where we're going to stop at. My next step, I'm going to cover all these jars up with some paper, let them breathe for about 24 hours. So we'll come back tomorrow and then give each one a taste, decide what we want to keep and what we want to get rid of. So far it smells pretty good, tastes pretty good. What I'll do is I'll let the still cool down. Probably later tonight or tomorrow morning. It's pretty hot. I'll let it clean her all up. Let's see what time it is. It is 12:30. So we got 5.5 hours in today. Alright, we got 1, 2, 3, about 4 quarts of distillate. That's a pretty good run. Okay, so I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, it's the next day. Time 9 o'clock. Still's cooled down, so what I'm gonna do is disassemble it, clean it up, and then I think what we'll do then is get into tasting our cut jars, and we'll put it together, and I'm gonna put it on some oak. Okay, so let me get the still cleaned up so I can get it out of the way, and I'll be back. Okay, so we got the still all cleaned up. Let's get these jars uncovered. And we'll get down to do some tasting, some smelling. Okay. Alright, let's try this one. Just kind of smell around a little bit. Now see, to me, that's going to end up being, there's a smell I don't like, but we'll taste it. Okay. So let's start right here in the middle. I mean, that's good taste, very smooth. We'll go down the line a little bit. Still got a good bite. Still tasting smooth. This last one's one I'm going to be concerned because it has a little bit of smell to it, so I'm assuming this is going to probably be my tails. If you remember, we stopped at I think it was 200 degrees, and it was just a hair below 40%. It don't taste bad, but there's just something in there that I just don't care for. Let's go up a little bit. Good, a little hot. But good. Now the question is going to be this first one. If you remember, I did get rid of the first 4 ounces. That's different tasting. I kind of like it. Now, when I was tasting these yesterday, they mellow out if you let them breathe out a little bit. I really found that to be true. They will mellow out a little bit, and I think I can't place it. Decisions, huh? Decisions. I tell you what, I think when I had that little snafu when distilling, I think I'm gonna keep everything but that last one. This has a special little taste to it. I can't describe it. Has a little bite. Well, of course, that'd be the alcohol, but I just can't describe the taste, but I like it. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to keep everything but that last one. Okay. Let me get rid of these jars. I'll be right back. Okay, I got those mixed up. I just want to see what our starting proof is. And about 120 proof. Okay? So okay, so it's 120 proof, and I know there's conversions out there to figure out how much water to put in it and all that good stuff, and that's fine. I kind of like it this old school way. And what I'll end up doing is just mix this around a little bit. What we got now? Come on, quit dancing. Look at that. That is right on the money of 80 proof. I'm leaving it right there. That worked out fantastic. 80 proof. And we'll just take a little bit out of this. Put in that. A little bit more. Okay. What I want to do because that is like a half, 3/4 of a gallon. I'm just going to put a little handful of chips in each one. These are medium toasted chips. I don't want too much. I want just a little bit in each one. Okay, so what I'm going to end up doing, I'll let that sit probably for a week, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, after that, I'm going to run through a couple coffee filters and put it in a bottle, and then I'm going to take a lightly toasted oak stick and put in each bottle, and then I'm going to put it away and wait for it to get perfect. Okay, this has been, oh wait a minute, what is the final time? Final time is 9:52, almost 10 o'clock. So I'll add all the time up and I'll put it at the end of the video on a card and let you see our exact time to this point. I think it's going to be turned out pretty fantastic American Single Malt. So there's only a couple things left to say. Hey, thanks for stopping by and we'll see you next time.